Verify you friends, I'm here today just to give you a quick introduction to the new book that I've got out called the Jaa Banes, or the Jaa Bones as it would be in English. This is brought out by the Ulster-Scots Academy Press, which is the imprint of the Ulster-Scots Language Society. In terms of the collection itself, it's a collection of poems. These are written in Braid Ulster-Scots, and they're framed by a kind of narrative, a story, a yarn. And the yarn is that these poems have been found. They're found manuscripts. They've been found in, of all places, an antique Lambeg drum. And they're the work and product of a fictional poet called Ronnie Steenson. Now, there's a couple of reasons why I decided to use this device. First of all, the device of the unreliable narrator. The device of the found manuscript is a very common one and a very powerful one in Scottish literature, this idea of the unreliable editor. So I wanted to tune into that and have a bit of fun with that in terms of Ulster-Scots. The other reason is that I wanted to raise issues of authenticity, because obviously Ulster-Scots gets a bit of stick, gets a lot of stick actually, a lot of flack, and often, despite its long centuries of literary tradition, it is still often seen as a language that is made up. So I thought what better riposte than to actually make up a Ulster-Scots poet of my own. But of course in many ways that poet isn't made up, because it's just an alter ego of myself. So that was kind of the background to the book. In terms of the language that's used, I think it's important to say that I'm not trying to represent spoken Ulster-Scots as it is today. A lot of the words that I use will be familiar to people who are connected with Ulster-Scots communities, contemporary Ulster-Scots communities. Lots of the words will be familiar, lots of the idioms will be familiar. However, some of them might not be. I have used archaic words, I have used rare words that I have learned from the literary tradition, and that even I've learned from dictionary hooking, if you like. So basically what we're saying there in terms of the language is that this is a literary language. It's not an attempt to represent contemporary spoken Ulster-Scots. It's a literary language, possibly looking forward and kind of trying to show what the potential and what the resources Ulster-Scots has in terms of, being a fully functioning literary language, which is kind of the aim of this, to push the boundaries of the tongue. So, Jaa Banes, that's the crack with the Jaa Banes, and mind the Ulster-Scots.